Come on, sit up. Bob. Come on, sit up.
I'll stand. Have a seat.
Probably not.
You sit down, Chris.
Sit down.
Chris, so just sign there so she knows who's,
Absolutely.
See.
Thank you.
says off. There you go.
Oh, you were looking down like, I'm like. You're looking at your computer, but when I was standing over here, I can't see your computer. It
Oh.
looked like-
Do we have a pen for this, Bubba?
Yeah.
There you go. I need back though. Oh, here, give me that one.
There you go.
Thanks. Ready to go, Deej? Okay. Kim, I already got you though.
Yeah. Oh, okay, thank you.
Nothing works. Well, they got it running just on the laptop. Piece they got the broadcast there.
Do you have packet or no?
Right there.
Oh, this one?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's multiple. Just with the paperclip.
Yeah.
So you should see the slideshow, right?
Yep.
Just say something real quick.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Try that dongle.
The dongle, I don't think will work, but 1, 2, 3. Shut this off.
What time did you? Yeah. I was there Tuesday.
It must have been. It was just a little before 11:45.
Oof.
And we don't even talk anymore about how long we think the meeting is gonna go. If you think you got, a fairly short agenda, there's not a whole lot that could be really contentious, and then it's midnight, and you're still there.
The finance director and the town planner. I learned more about
Thinking, but
demolition delay than, I ever wanted to know.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're.
Are we good to
moving
go?
forward, because that's important for some of those historic properties that we've got around here.
Pretty good.
Okay. All set? Excellent. All right, good evening, everybody. Tonight, November 14th, 2024. Sorry we're a little late. Had some Wi-Fi issues. I'd like to call the meeting to order for the Newington Fire Department Fire Commission at 7:16 p.m. We could all rise for a pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Let's take a moment of silence, especially our dear good friend Rob Sharkovich from the Weathersfield Fire Department that died in the line of duty in Berlin. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. Approval Attendance is going around. Approval of prior meeting minutes from October 10th.
I've reviewed the meeting minutes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October.
Okay, I also
Second.
reviewed them even though I wasn't here and I will second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Public participation for the first time. Anybody like from the public to speak? There will be another chance at the end of the meeting. Anybody? Seeing none, we'll move on to communications. Monthly reports, Commissioner.
Monthly
Domain.
reports. I have reports this month from Chief Schromer, as well as Chief Regina, Deputy Chief Stegmeyer. I just have one particular question. One of the things that I was looking for and looking at, Chief Regina, the Kerma sexual harassment prevention training schedule for December. Do we have dates already for those?
It's out on the app now.
Oh, it
You
is.
can email it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, that's the in-person one? Okay, good.
The one at the high school.
December 11th.
Yeah.
December 11th.
Commissioner was fine included in here.
Yes, yours. I'm sorry. No, everybody's is here. I'm sorry. I didn't
I knew
mean
I
to.
did it.
No, I know you did. I didn't mean to skip over, and I also have a report from buildings
Deputy Chief
and
Gene Santi.
Deputy Chief Jan Sandy, Buildings and Apparatus Division. His monthly report is now included. Deputy Chief Stegmeyer. I know he's not. He's right there. I just have one quick question. I like this new status report. I'd like to be able to see us get over this hump of 97 individuals.
For some reason, you keep towing that heart mark and I can't break it.
But otherwise,
I think the first city year will get it.
yeah, well, I'm hoping and just, and the reason why I raised this issue is unfortunately because of the line of duty death of firefighter Sharkovic. The town of Weathersfield, which I found out last week, since his passing, the Weathersfield Volunteer Fire Department has had 7 or 8 people apply to become members of the department. So I was like totally blown away. So anyway, all your reports, everybody did excellent job. So we're good to go.
Thank you.
Motion to approve report.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Ledger status, Commissioner Stoddard.
I looked over the ledger status and it looks like we're right about where we should be for the month of October to the beginning of November. So I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second,
I will second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Old business. All right, this is a biggie. Radio status.
So we are actually in a very positive direction right now. All the mobiles, all the portables have been delivered. Training is being conducted this week,
Right now.
actually right now. And we also had one on Tuesday night. All the SDI training, which is the personal accountability training, has already been completed. The installs should be completed in all the apparatus by tomorrow. The only truck that will not be installed will be the command post, which we're actually going to send down to Norcom and have them install it down there, just because of how many radios are going to go inside of it. The Chiefs cars, 2 of the cars are done. Another one's getting done tomorrow. 2 will be done next week. And if everything goes right, the department should be 100% completed with installs next week. The control stations and all the firehouses are completed. Those were completed this week. So cross my fingers. I'm hoping to go over live to the state system probably within the next week or two.
Wow.
So yes, very positive. movement.
That's awesome.
It's been a lot of work.
Been a long time coming.
I wanna personally thank, Lieutenant Carlone and, Captain Volvo, who have been here basically every day of the week to make sure that the process is going through smoothly. The installs are going smoothly, the trucks are here, any issues, they get addressed immediately, and we try to get it resolved that day. And Norcom, the installers have been absolutely fantastic, so,
Awesome.
very positive news. Very
Awesome.
happy with the progress.
That's been a long time of coming.
And we are starting to use the radios now. The radios obviously are on the old system as of right now. And they've been working flawlessly. So no issues. So good news.
Great news. And we had a fire yesterday and they worked out great at the fire.
They
So,
did, yep.
well, excellent. I just want to skip over that space needs for threes and fours because I have under a new business. Okay.
Yep.
You don't mind?
Nope.
Fire department pension review update, that's still in the works. I know that, we're gonna be looking, to Rocky Hill to, give us some guidance on that. So that is still being worked on, pension review. Any of you guys have anything else on that?
The only thing I would add is what I told you the other day. I met with Chief Garrity, and we will be setting up a meeting.
Yeah.
Probably after December the 1st. So because I told him I'd like to be able to meet with him in December.
Yep.
And start putting everything together so that we can hopefully discuss it at the January meeting.
Sounds good. ISO update.
So I'll let Chief Regina speak on that one.
Spoke to her a week and a half ago. She has all of the paperwork. She's still working on it. She will, once she submits it, it'll be approximately 30 to 60 days from that point, but she has not yet submitted it. She will call me directly when that happens. So
Okay.
she was on vacation last week in Texas, and should be back, and she was also working on Newtown, and that assistant chief that got hit by the car was her contact on that. So
Well,
been a few things going on, so I haven't pushed, but she stays in contact with this way.
good.
Should hear something.
Well, no news is good news so far. So,
I
great.
asked her specifically, I tried to stay away from, and did she have everything?
Yeah.
And she's content with what she's got.
Okay.
Just one thing that's not listed under old business that, Chief LaBier has been working on, is the grants. So the grant opening just opened up, 2 days ago. And, we plan on submitting another grant application this year. Chief LaBier met with our grant writers already and also talked to a representative from the AFG grant process. Gentleman by the name of Chris
Babcock, he called me yesterday from Washington, actually. We had put a request in through the grant writer. She wanted to find out where we could improve our previous grant. So he reviewed it. We did make it through peer review, which was good. And we didn't score badly, but he said the competition is fierce, especially as the money goes down.
Yeah.
Right.
So we want to definitely, he did recommend, and Sonia's going to write a letter, but anybody, townwide or whatever, to reach out to our representatives to make sure that they're speaking highly of keeping that grant funding up, because there was requested $3 billion worth of submissions last year for 200, and we said 91,000, and it actually went down a little bit this year. Luckily, they saved the grant this year, but it's less than last year.
Is that both senators and congressmen
Yeah,
or?
senators and congressmen.
Okay.
Senator Murphy already reached out to us and said that anything that we need, that his office will assist us with. One of his aides already reached out to us. So Chief Labier is already gonna talk to the grant writers to try to
He's
reach
already
out
got
to.
the email the chief sent me today that he received from.
Okay,
And you
So we're gonna reach out to Murphy and Larson
Oh.
just to kind of get a little,
Okay.
see if we can get a little support for it.
okay.
And-
Good.
Just as an added, just as an added comment to that, I spoke to State Rep Kerry Woods from Rocky Hill. Gary Turco already knows, Matt Lesser knows, Kate Farrar, obviously, because her husband's a lieutenant in East Farms, but the bug's already been put in their ears about looking at PPE for the departments because of the state mandate now. So hopefully this coming legislative session, we may be asked to sit before the
That's all right.
state legislature again and give them a pitch.
This
So,
year's a long session.
yes, it is.
This
So
year's a long session coming up.
we're not gonna sit back and just let this go.
Jeff Morris sits on top of this also, so we spoke to him.
Perfect.
He was visiting with us multiple times in Weathersfield.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Let me know if there's anything we can do on a council level or that I could do as liaison. and
Maybe a
connect you
nice
with
letter
everybody.
from the Newington Town Council supporting us to along with the grant might help out.
If you, whoever, chief, you or somebody wants to send me the information, I'll bring it to
Sure.
council and we can, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't
Right.
write a supporting letter, but yeah, you give me the information.
Absolutely.
We'll try to put it together.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Anything else under old business? Moving along to new business. I'm gonna jump around here for a minute. Because the thing on the bottom is the thing I want to discuss. And then the rest of the stuff will fall into place. So we're gonna go with the Board of Fire Commissioners Charter first. And you'll see why, because then the rest, it'll fall into place. So, I had this put on under new business because I would like to read the charter of this board so that everybody knows what our charge is and what we're responsible for. So this was granted, I believe, in 1929 by the state legislature. So we can't change it. The town can't change it. The only one that can change this or dissolve this is the state legislature. And it starts off, the Board of Fire Commissioners. There should be a Board of Fire Commissioners consisting of 3 members who shall have the power and duty vested in it by the charter, and such as have been or may hereafter be conferred on it by the Connecticut General Assembly. Statutes or by ordinance. The board is specifically authorized to delegate authority to the fire chief or chiefs. Members shall serve a 4-year staggered term and until their successors are chosen and qualified. The Board of Fire Commissioners shall supervise, maintain, and care for all fire department buildings and fire equipment of said fire department. Shall appoint fire chiefs and such other officers and personnel as it deems necessary. Shall recommend the purchase of additional apparatus and equipment when needed. Shall purchase additional apparatus and equipment when duly authorized. And shall annually prepare and submit to the manager a budget for the maintenance and care of the equipment and buildings of said fire department. The Board of Fire Commissioners' role shall include acting as final board of appeals for personnel matters from within the fire department. This function shall not be delegated. 2, the members of said commission shall make inspections of the fire department at least twice a year and shall make an annual report to the town of the department's operational operation during the preceding year and shall include in such report a statement of the operative status condition of the fire department as determined by such inspections. 3, the members of said commission, when possible, shall attend all fires that occur in town to observe the condition of the apparatus and the efficiency of said department. They shall have no authority other than that specifically provided herein to direct the operation of the department at any time. The fire department may take apparatus, I find this funny. The fire department may take apparatus out of town with approval of at least one commissioner. The board may delegate this authority to the fire chief. And that is our charter.
Can you send me a copy of that, please?
Absolutely. So with that said, I would like to move into number 1, building and space needs committee discussion. So we had a meeting with the town council on Tuesday night to discuss this because there are definite needs in this fire department that keep getting kicked down the can down the road. In August, we're going to have a building that won't fit the spare fire truck when their apparatus goes out for repairs, maintenance, what have you. Every time we try to do something in this fire department, we keep hitting roadblocks. We have a floor at the base at Company 1 that have bumps in it because the floor has failed. We asked for money through ARPA. We were told that there was money there. Then we told there was no money there. Come to find out on Tuesday, there's over $300,000 of money there. This is approximately a $65,000 fix. The floor has failed. It was put in wrong. We're told there was no money. Then we were told it was an insurance claim. I just want to know how much a broken leg, a broken arm, or a concussion when somebody falls and gets seriously hurt in this fire department, how much that's going to cost. And as far as I'm concerned, as a member of this board, I'm not going to put up with it any longer. Absolutely, I'm not going to put up with it any longer. It's a safety hazard, and we can't keep operating like that. If that floor was in the town hall, the library, it would have been taken care of within a matter of a week. But because it's in this firehouse, this has been going on since June. And as a commissioner, that's not right. It happened after the budget was prepared. It was an unforeseen thing. And it is $65,000 to fix it. But how much is a broken arm, a broken leg, or a concussion worth? And we can't put it up with this anymore. As our charter states, the fire department board of fire commissioners has the sole responsibility for the upkeep and the maintenance of these buildings. The problem is we don't hold the purse strings. And we're at the mercy of the town to give us the money. And it's not right. They can't keep getting kicked down the road, and we keep getting thrown to the side. And I'm disgusted with it. Absolutely disgusted with it. So I've said my piece, and we'll get back to the rest of the discussion. But
I just want to add one particular thing in regards to what you just said. I want to thank Chief Traumer for the information that you put forth yesterday to the town council, the town manager. And I echo Brian's statement wholeheartedly, is that for the last 3 years that I've been a part of this commission, it seems like if we don't have a voice at the town hall, we get overlooked quite often. And I think that, push has now come to shove. And this is not something that sits very well with me when we're told 2 or 3 different things. And we know that there's money available that should have been taken care of. And, I wrote something this afternoon in regards to the issue with the police department. And I was looking at all of the information that was provided in terms of a roofing problem that's less than 18 years old. And they were able to approve 236,000 or 280,000 to now have this roof get fixed. My question is, what was the facilities director doing when this roofing system or project was looked at 18 years ago? I don't believe that there was a clerk of the works, and there should be anytime you have a major project, because how does a roofing system fail after 18 years? Plus,
It's been failing all,
it's a brand new building.
I know, it's never been right.
Well, who's responsible for that?
The builder.
Well, no, the town of Newington. We have a facilities director. We have, you should have a clerk of the works. Anytime you have a major project, was anybody overseeing this while this was being completed? I have no idea. And when we ask for something as simple as $60,000 or $70,000
To fix the safety issue.
to fix a safety issue, we get the runaround. I'm not a very happy camper right now, so that's all I'm going to say.
I concur. I'm not gonna
No,
beat a dead horse.
No reason to, but this has to stop.
does. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So talking with the town council on Tuesday, there are needs in the fire department, and I was going to ask for I was going to call it a space and buildings committee through the fire department, but the town would like to establish a building and space needs committee, which I think is a great thing. They asked for 7 members, 2 of which would be from the fire department. And there was a couple of typos in there and a couple of things I didn't really like about it. And I asked that it can be removed, and I believe the town council is going to do that. The biggie is I would like 3 members from the fire department to be on that building committee. And I wholeheartedly support it so that we can move things down the line and look for 25, 50 years down the road for our buildings and what we need for space. Our trucks are getting bigger. They're not getting smaller. The last time anything was substantially renovated was in 2005 at Company 2, where they added the 2 bays on, which has been a godsend for the south end of town. But for Company 4, Company 3, and Company 1, Company 4 was built in 1956, I believe, and it hasn't been touched. And the trucks of 2024,
It's been well maintained, but
it's been well maintained, but size-wise, it is just not conducive to today's modern fire apparatus. Station 3, which I'm sure you were on at the time, was built in 1976, and that is still the original 2-bay footprint of that. So there definitely needs to be work to get done, and I wholeheartedly support the town council putting this forward and bringing it to fruition.
Right, I believe they're working on tweaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The,
I just made a note. I want to find out when this is gonna be ready.
right, and prioritizing what we're gonna.
So that's one discussion I'd like to bring up. I submitted a space needs, to the town manager, town council, of our 5 to 7 year plan going forward. My concern is that if we do a broad committee, the way they're looking to do it, they're gonna look at every firehouse and they're gonna say, hey, what do we need? To me, we should be prioritizing a specific
right.
project and then have like a plan B, just so that we have 2 projects that is what the committee should be looking at. To me, if they overlook the entire fire department,
Right.
I think it's gonna scare people because there is a lot that needs to be done across the board. But I think if we looked at the 2 major things that we're looking at, obviously company 4 is our number 1 priority because we need that to be, because of the apparatus.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. The second one is company 3s, and we can those can go together. The thing with company 3s is we have a opportunity right now for a piece of property that's for sale, which again, as I discussed at the town council meeting, it's important for us to look at that property to secure our future. If we don't secure that, we're landlocked.
Right.
And that's what hurts us as a department. Chapman Street, and it would be nice to get that renovated. So at least we have some space that we can put stuff in the time being. But we're not saying that we have to have a brand new firehouse at Station 3 tomorrow. I just want to get the piece of property like we did at Company 2's, buy it, sit on that property, and then eventually do an expansion. But our number 1 priority, I think, really needs to be addressed as Company 4's with Company 3's as the backup if we can do something with the land over there.
Okay.
I think if we do it across the board, I don't think it's gonna work out well for us.
Right.
And I think that's where the town council, I'd like to see that part of it, say, hey, these are 2 priorities that we really want to push forward. The rest of it, we can kind of take care of through CIP, put a lot of that money into CIP and take some of the projects, if you want to say, that we put together, and kind of take them a little one at a time.
Right.
But I think if we try to do the whole department, I don't think
Yeah,
it's gonna
no,
be,
no.
it's not gonna be worth it's gonna be too much for the committee to
Well,
look
we
at.
know
As
Tuesday.
Several of the town councilors pointed out, it was scary.
Yeah.
It is.
Looking at how much money that
So-
could be.
So to me, I would like to see that part. So say Company 4's and Company 3, those are the 2 main things that committee should look at. Number 1, 3 is with the land, but Company 4's is a new construction. That, to me, is the most important things that we need to look at right now. The rest of it, we can go slowly with.
Okay.
And again, that's just a suggestion. I think that we need to move forward with that part of it.
I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, Chief.
And again,
You know,
I
we're
just
in
want
good
to bring
shape
up,
at 2's, we're not bad shape at 1's.
Just a comment. There was an impression at that meeting that the fire department didn't have priorities established on these. We've had those priorities for over 10 years.
Yes, and
Trommer took that information, supplied it multiple times. And
To
there was this
multiple town
impression-
managers.
Multiple managers and councils. And there's this impression or these comments that we don't have a priority. And
Right.
we do. We've always had that Company 4 at the top.
yes,
And you know that.
I can say for myself that I have handed town councilors and the town manager those priority lists when I have sat down with them at a town council meeting. We have given it to them multiple times, not just once, but multiple times.
so just so that we can go back, I don't want to beat this up, but when we did this about 10 years ago, we started with a CIP process and Chief Regina was on doing the budget at that time. We started with a possible study. We put $150,000 in there to have a study done for the entire department. We were told that doesn't belong in CIP and they axed it. Then we were told, we were getting anywhere for a year or 2. Then we decided to put in for full new construction. We put in a couple $1 million for each firehouse. And they said, oh, it doesn't belong there. It belongs in the permanent building committee. Well, then, as we know, the permanent building committee was formed, but it was never filled. It stalled. And this is just what it's been progressively been doing. It's been pushing it. Now it looks like we're asking for a lot, but we're not asking for a lot. We've been asking for 8 to 10 years now and just have gotten stonewalled to the point where we're at today.
I agree.
So, you know, to say that we're asking for a lot this year, I'm not asking for a lot. What we're trying to do is we're trying to secure what we need. West Hill Road came available this year. That's the reason it was brought up, to say, hey, we lost the opportunity at Station 4. We don't want to lose the opportunity at Station 3. The floor, again, a safety issue that came up, not something that we had planned on. It just happened. So yes, we were looking for funding to try to make it so that no one got hurt. That's really what it came down to. So I just want that to be known out loud.
I'd also like it to be known, Chief, that there is currently money in the budget for Old Company 3s on Chapman Street.
There's 165,000 or 185,000.
So I was approached by a town councilor and asked if there was money in there for that building. And I said, yes, there was. And his response was, well, then how come we're not using that to fix that building up? So I approached the chief and said, hey, we got that money in there. Let's try fixing that building up. Let's get it weather tight for the winter. We have a tree growing through the roof. We got a hole in the roof. The doors are falling off and it's an eyesore for the neighborhood. So the chief went to the finance director to try to start using that money to get a roof on the building, to get the windows done on the building, and to do some of the asbestos removal on that building. Are we going to get it all done with that $185,000? No, but eventually that building would become a nice neighborhood building that we can use to store auxiliary equipment for the fire department. We're getting stonewall on money that's in the budget for that building, and they're stonewalling us and not letting us use it.
So just so everybody's aware, I had a meeting with the town manager, Lauren, Janet, and Joe, and I was told that that is not fire department money. That is considered facilities money because it was put in the facilities budget. And that firehouse is not our firehouse, that is a facilities project, and it's not a fire department project because once it becomes an inactive firehouse, it goes to facilities. That's what I was told. Well, I'm kind of a little concerned about that statement because we manage and maintain very, very well the fire museum and the cadet firehouse that are basically not active firehouses. But if you look at both those firehouses, they're maintained flawlessly, just like all the rest of our facilities. And my concern with those statements is, how did all of a sudden that facility?
When did it become an inactive?
When did it become an inactive firehouse is my exact statement, because currently we house fire department equipment in that building. So it's an active firehouse and it responds regularly. In fact, that truck went to the Berlin brush fire and it goes regularly to brush fires and other calls. It does pump ups, it does standbys, it does a bunch of different things. So to say that's an inactive firehouse is not a true statement. And again, this is where we get stonewalled to say, this all started because I asked what account I could start taking the monies out of. Granted, we're in the process of getting quotes for the roof. We're in the process of getting that stuff. I've already had someone come out and take a look at the asbestos to see what was needed there. We're obviously going to look to get someone else to come out to give us another price. So it's stuff like that, but now I'm being told that everything has to go through Joe.
Well, here's my question. This would be directed to the town council. If in fact this building was reverted back to the town of Newington under the direction of the facilities department, how did this building end up in such disrepair? Nobody was paying attention. Nobody was doing their job. That's why I'm making that statement. So don't drop this back in our laps to say that the building belongs to the town of Newington. No, the building belongs to the fire department, and we have every right to get that building up to code so that we can use that building the way it should be used. And if there is money available, which we know that there is, then
Earmarked for
Ear-
that specific building.
then it's got to happen. And these are the roadblocks that we continue to run up against because we don't have a voice in the town hall. And this is not acceptable.
Commissioners, aren't they in taking care of all the buildings for fire department?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're in charge of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Were you aware that they were taken away from us?
No,
No.
sir.
No.
We were not aware that the building was taken away from us.
Oh,
That's a
But we
question
have
that I
our
just wrote
equipment
down
in
is
there,
when
in
did
that building.
occur?
When did
Is
it occur?
Is there documentation?
No, there's,
That's a question I would ask.
So the other thing is as we did a lot more research on Company 3's Chapman Street, there was talk about demolition. Well, now that we did a little bit more research on it, that's listed as a historic site in the National
Yeah, it is.
Historic
Mm-hmm.
Society. So at that point, we want to preserve it. And it's our goal to preserve it back to the way it was.
It was a document Betty
So
Thatcher
it's-
submitted when
it's-
she was historian for the town of Newington.
So it's
Awesome.
100% documented that that is a historic building. So in our eyes, we want to do the same thing we did with the museum, save it, put it back to its original, not original, but make it
Pretty close.
It's pretty close.
As close to.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I understand that the funding that's there today isn't gonna cover all of that, but we want to get a good start on it. And then we can slowly work the rest of it. So just so we're aware of that too, it is on the historic registry. And it's listed in the historic registry under the Newington Junction part of that, if you read the whole paperwork on it. There's about a 16-page document that I have that I can forward to anybody that wants to see it, that actually spells that out.
Yeah, send it to me. And I think I know as an offshoot of another working group, there's several of us working on historic preservation working group. And
most of us heard about that Tuesday.
and yeah. And so, this, of course, we had a meeting with Preservation CT a couple of months ago. We did a Zoom call, and I specifically asked, I brought up Old Company 3 because, near and dear. And they said, yes, that absolutely does fall into something, a category or something that we might be able to help with. So I can just keep you all informed. There are a couple of other counselors who are part of this working group right now. And, we've got a lot of properties here in town that either have been placed on the registry over time or are in historic districts or are historic based on whatever our definition is or will be. And I know Eric Hinckley was very helpful in pulling together spreadsheets for us of information. I mean, he did an amazing job. So what I could do is let somebody know when we have our next meeting, and if you want to attend, just to kind of see where we're at and where we want to go with this.
Absolutely.
We'll keep you informed.
If you keep the chief informed, he'll keep us informed.
Okay.
And I do want to thank Chief Regina, because Chief Regina is the one that did the research on Company 3's and actually got that document and actually went through the registry to find out, all the documentation on that. So I do
It's
want to
got a
thank him on that.
gorgeous fireplace behind one of the.
Send that to me, and then I can share it with,
And so it's like a 16-page document that actually spells out, like the architecture, what it's,
Okay,
the whole 9 yards.
good.
I just want it to be clear to the public that's watching this that we saved Company 1 on Main Street, next door to CVS. and look at the gem that's the gem of Newington Center. We have many groups that use that building free of charge.
Say, how many Girl Scouts meet there now?
Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, women's groups, men's groups,
Town council.
the town council use it. It is a gem of a building in the center of town. And Station 5 on Maple Hill Avenue next to Elm Hill Pizza. We took that project under the fire department's wing, and it took us a little while. It didn't cost the town a ton of money. We did it with, in the regular budget process to get that back to its heyday. And look what it's done to that intersection. It's a beautiful building. And to see this building sitting on Chapman Street, that could also be a gem for that end of town, with another meeting room for groups down at that end of the town. To see this 4-inch round tree sticking out of them, 20 feet high, sticking out of the roof, it's heartbreaking. The worst thing about it is we have the money to start fixing it up, and we just can't use it. Because we're always told, well, no and no and no. So it's very heartening, and it goes back to what I said at the beginning, that the can keeps getting kicked down the road, and
Well, I
it's
think
not
this
good.
is worse than the can getting kicked
Yeah,
down the road.
definitely.
I think that it's been budgeted. We know about the budget. We've got the money's available. It should be able to be spent by
Absolutely.
the fire department on a fire department building.
Yep.
And I don't agree with anybody that thinks it's not a fire department building, because it's definitely a fire department building, and it's always been used as.
Yep.
I mean, I heard things about the fact that we leased it, but we leased it to somebody that used it for a fire department building, for a fire truck.
Yep.
And because we leased it doesn't mean we gave it up. It's always been our building. It's always
Yep.
part of the
I agree,
commission.
Commissioner. Agree, 100%. Chief LaPierre, you had something to say.
You've mentioned more than once, and I've been talking to the chief, a lot about all these issues, and we'll talk about, he was, or were being accused of asking for so much this past year. If you look at, we've done the CIP budget, and I was just putting it together Monday night so that we as chiefs can review it to submit our new CIP budget for this coming year. If you look, there's 13 items that we have on that we have prioritized as chiefs and commissioners that are all slated out in the CIP process, which is the town process. So how they can say that we're asking for so much with no plan. We have a plan. We put the plan together every year, and then we change it. We have the documents now that we could take out what got done through the CIP, and now we can add and change the years of when we have to do things, because of if they've moved
Priorities.
Yep. We can move those up or down. If we have a grant, and some of those things we're trying to get grants for, but we do have a plan, and the plan is through the town process that seems to be overlooked. And when we put something in CIP, that doesn't guarantee that we're going to get it.
Correct.
So if one of those or two or three of those projects don't get funded, they get pushed even farther out. So we are planning for the future through the town's process. And, I just want that noted, that the documentation is there from this group.
Yep. Thank you, Chief.
And that's a very important point that you brought up about grants. We get grants and those go to the town. And, how much credit do we get for those? Yes, we do get sometimes specific equipment, but that's equipment that we probably put through the CIP and didn't have to
The
do
rescue
it
tools
because
were
we
a
got a
CIP
grant.
item that got funded through the grant.
And
So
we
that
worked very
came off
hard
the
at that.
list.
And each year we continue to try to get as much grant funding or any type of extra funding that we possibly can. Any opportunity. You got the limited access highway that we bring funds back to the town with. We have the insurance payments now that actually come back to the town. We don't see a dollar of that comes back. So those are positives that help the town out.
I said it and I know people are sick of me saying it, but we are the largest department on the town government side, not including the Board of Ed, with 97 plus another 20. So, almost 120 guys, men and women of this department. We're one of the largest departments in this town with the smallest budget. And to think over it's just about 105 years that this fire department's been in existence, how many hundreds of millions of dollars has this department saved the town of Newington by not having a paid fire department?
And
Hundreds of millions. If you take West Hartford, for instance, with a approximately 12 to $15 million fire department budget, in 10 years, that's $150 million. And we've been doing this for 105 years. So to think of how much money that we've saved this department, and to ask for, $60,000 to get an absolute serious safety hazard fixed, it's just mind boggling. But that's my piece.
I think we need to move on.
I just want to bring up one thing. I don't want it to make it, especially on the fire department side, I don't want it that we're attacking the town council. Because I think the town council is not 100% given this information. A lot of this stuff happens at staff levels and never gets to the town council level. So I don't ever want to say that we're going against the town council, because they're very supportive of us on a yearly basis.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to say it's them. I want to say it's the actual staff that is actually creating this problem and stonewalling us. So again, we thank you for everything you do for us, but honestly, I don't want it to think that we're.
I agree,
coming
Chief.
at you guys.
Yeah.
So please.
No,
I just want that
I
to be
don't feel that way at all.
I just don't want that image out there. That's not what
We
we're
know
talking
it's not the town council whatsoever, and they have been very supportive to us.
Well, the other thing to consider too is that there are quite a few counselors who, and I hate because people use this term all the time, they're new or young, some not so young, but that there are some counselors that don't have this history, that haven't been on the council for 10 years. I'm in my second term, and I'm plus having had connections with the fire department, I'm still learning a lot of this. So I think the more information that we have, or that you can give to me and to Tim Mankey,
Right,
who's the other liaison, that we can then get out to our counselors and to the mayor, I think the better understanding we'll have. And it's important to have that history and to see this trajectory.
thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner, one comment.
Yes, sir.
Regards to that, Commissioner Starr said we'll do it. We need one voice, and Chief Traumer, in charge of the operation of this department, does the best in regards to doing it. And
Absolutely.
we need to make sure that if there are questions from the town, that he's the contact person for all those types of conversations.
Absolutely. That's a day-to-day operation.
That's why I said to her,
Exactly.
if that committee's meeting, and if you let him know, we'll know.
Yeah, I don't think we've set a date for the next meeting, but
Just let me know. I'll make sure everybody's aware of it.
Yep. And once that committee's established, we'll solicit for 3 members from the department to submit a letter of interest to us, chiefs and the commissioners. We'll get that over to you guys.
You're talking about the building committee.
The building committee, correct. Yeah.
We're talking about a number of committees. So do we have a date for inspections?
No, well, we're gonna finish that up. Firehouse inspections, we don't. So our yearly inspections, we do it twice a year, but one of them is done by the safety department and the chief of firehouses. So we do it once a year. Chief, when are you looking? Want to do first of the year?
Yeah, I'd
Middle?
like to get through the holidays, so I'd like to do it in the beginning of the year, probably
So we'll pick
second or
January.
third week of January.
Okay,
Just to give the guys the opportunity to get through the holidays and,
all right.
you know, there's been a lot going on this year, so.
Yep,
I
yep.
just, I feel give them a little bit of a break.
So we'll shoot for January-ish timeframe and,
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it at our December meeting to set a date.
Date.
I know December, we don't do a lot at our December meeting, but we can do minor things.
Yeah.
Well, I'll come up with a date and we'll lock it in.
there you go.
All right.
All right, thank you.
That leads me to another question. Are we gonna meet at the Oldie for December meeting?
I think that would be a great thing, Commissioner Stoddard. I will call the town clerk and have it change. Well, first of all, I'll put it up to a vote. Do you gentlemen like to meet at the Oldie for our
Well, I
annual
think
Christmas
we have
party?
to ask Mr. Stegmeyer if it's
Yeah.
available.
If it's available.
Yes.
Okay, so a consensus, we meet at the Oldie in December?
Yep.
Okay, and that will be for the public. Let me just get a date here. That will be December 12th. So our next commissioners meeting will be December 12th at the old firehouse. And I know I'm gonna need this for James. All in favor of moving this commissioners meeting, monthly meeting from Company One Firehouse to the old firehouse?
I will make a
Second,
motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Excellent. I'll make sure that's, and we'll have a little, whatever. Chief, thank you. And the last thing under new business would be the 2025-2026 operational and CIP budget. So we are in the process of starting that now. January, February, March timeframe is the nuts and bolts of the budget that will take effect next July 1st, 2025. So,
Actually, December 6th is the submission of CIP.
okay,
January 5th is the submission of the operating budget.
okay,
So, we already have, all the captains have submitted their CIP and budget requests for us. We'll sit down, we'll go through them, and we'll come up and present that to you guys for approval for CIP. And then in December, we'll start the operating part of it and get that moving.
excellent.
Do we need to have a special meeting to approve that?
When is that?
December 6th
December
is
6th,
CIP.
I would say yes, you would.
For the
And January
CIP?
5th January 5th is.
January 5th is the operating budget.
Okay, if we need to do one, we'll get a date and do it.
Okay.
Okay. That's it for new business. Public participation for the last time, if anyone from the public would like to speak.
Right here.
Kim, ladies first.
I just want to say on behalf of the mayor and town council, thank you so much for our challenge coins. And we'll try to make sure that anybody from the crew that hasn't
We'll
come
make
to
sure
one of the
that
trainings,
we got them
we'll-
on a
we'll
list.
get them. But
And
thank
we're
you,
checking
thank
it
you very
twice.
much.
You know,
It was a surprise, I think, and everyone was really pleased and very grateful for the
Yep.
for the
Awesome.
gesture. So thank you so much.
you're welcome.
And I keep mine right there in my bag. And
Well, they're pretty, can't say valuable, precious because, not everyone has one. So
well, we understand that.
you gotta do something pretty good to get
I don't
one,
want to,
so.
I don't want to say thank you. Yeah, I think the next time though and I've talked to Matt about this, the next time we go up in the tower, we'll extend it even a little bit.
Go a little
further.
bit more.
Yeah.
Well, we had a couple that were, we had a couple that were.
I think we're okay now. We're
Bring
ready.
you up the full boat next
There
time.
you go.
You have to pick your partners.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Counselor Rada. Appreciate it.
The guy at the end of the table.
Oh,
Bobby.
Bobby
I'll
was
let
there.
Bobby go first.
I got a
Bobby.
couple of things the chief's aware of. I just want to make sure you're aware of it. Chief Trummer had asked me to reach out to Berlin. We are working on a truck drill. Because of what happened in Berlin and such, that was postponed. So, Chief Massario had reached out to Chief Trommer, and so we're getting that back together.
Okay,
We'll be doing that shortly. I have a meeting on Monday with Chief Dagnati from Weathersfield regarding Red NMX. They want to switch over on the Red NMX from the I am responding to our responder setup. So I have a meeting with him on that. Rocky Hill requested last minute for us to assist on a drill they're doing on Saturday. We have a full crew to take the rescue over for 3 to 4 hours. They're doing the whole thing with Harvard Hospital. He's aware, yeah. There's staging, they've got victims, they've got dummies, they've got the whole bit. So we're participating because Weathersfield wasn't able to do it. West Hartford has reached out to me. Chief Trommer is aware that they're going to continue to use the tower.
absolutely.
So I'm sure that's not a problem.
Not a problem.
Cromwell, I was told, is switching over to the cloud version. They'll be transferred over to it in another week
Cloud version.
of Red NMX because they've been on the server-based one. And when that happens, we will start the regional discussion of getting everybody on the same system. And all the chiefs are very okay moving forward on that.
So in no certain terms, you said everybody's following our lead.
Yes.
And then the last one, just a quick update on the towers. I've met with 4 contractors for the concrete work that needs to be done. The town crews, Jimmy Wells, Rob Hillman, Clay Pedigo, and Steve Tolfelt, and then their guys that did the work. Pushed real hard in 2 weeks' time to get all those blocks put in, the hill taken down, the trees all trimmed back or cut down. Ground's been cut up so that we can go in. The guys just have to do some site work, simple stuff with their own machines, put the lay of concrete down. I have a meeting on Tuesday morning with Joe from facilities, and we've got 2 of that contractors said they'll get it done within the next week. If we move forward, the money's already in the budget, so we can move forward. I'm just going to have Joe bless it, whatever. And we'll go from there.
Okay. Excellent. Wow. A lot going on. Chief Trump.
Yeah, so I want to commend our department. We had the line of duty death over in Berlin from a Weathersfield firefighter, and our membership stepped up unbelievably. Our crews were on standby over in Weathersfield for multiple days because we wanted to help them out and make sure that they took care of their families and took care of their own. And our membership was incredible. I didn't have to, as soon as I asked, the rigs were full. We had 70 members show up to the wake. We had members show up to the funeral. It was just an outstanding showing of our department and the respect that we have and the brotherhood and sisterhood that we have with our fellow department. I'm proud as a chief that happened. It was tough for me because I heard the call. I thought it was one of ours. So it's tough to hear what they went through. So I just want to thank everybody.
Thank you, Chief.
Just a side note on your TV, we have records of our training.
Okay.
Just got the hard copies
Good.
delivered to me. So, and the rest of that policy and such is all complete. So we should do a good job.
Anybody else for public participation?
Yes.
Chief Trummer Senior?
No, I'm
Nothing
just
else.
amazed at what goes on in this department today compared to 15, 20 years ago.
We didn't have to feed the horses today like we did when you were.
I had to feed the horses.
You had-
Many days down there in front of the fireplace, and Kim was there too, I'm sure.
I trained, we did the ladders and the.
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
I think that's when you dropped that tree seed.
Yeah.
But it just amazed me the way this department is evolved and the automation of it and the membership doing things. It's really
touches my heart to see that
Thank you,
this
Chief.
place is still running like,
Clockwork.
We still give you credit for the task force. So,
We still give you credit. Yeah, you still
Really?
get that credit.
Yes, they're still swearing at me.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed during the course of this meeting and the discussions we've had that the chief's had a pretty good smile on his face.
Yeah, that's good. We want to keep Jimmy happy because it's not good when he's not happy.
I spent an hour and a half down there with the radios today, and I'm saying, holy right, from the cans we used to use to
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
these radios today.
yeah. Come a long way.
And it took us a long time to get them. I'm gonna say 15 years.
It's been a while. It's
Planning.
been a long time.
And
And
we've
in
been,
those 15 years, I was building a network for it. So it touches my heart to know that we went to a good system.
I remember going to your house to get a pager.
Yeah. Changing the frequency on
You
the
broke-
remember? That's where you got them.
Yeah, when you broke your brick, you had to go over to Chief Driver's house to get a new brick. That's pretty funny. Thank you, Chief. And it's, as you know, you're a past chief here and our door is always open to you and you know that, and you'll always be in our hearts as, like every member that dedicated their life to this fire department. Thank you.
and in spite of the grumpiness, we're glad to see you out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's been a
that.
long haul, I'll tell you. Well, I'm getting there.
Anybody else have any public participation? I'm gonna close that and ask for commissioners' remarks, and I always start with the older one first. So Commissioner Stoddard.
I'll make a point. I didn't know about the fire the other day. I need a new pager. My pager, the plug won't stay plugged in, so it keeps coming out and it dies on me. So I need a new pager. But I understand that we had quite a fire over on Cornish Drive, and that was handled very well, and I appreciate that. And I agree with the chief that the old chief, not the new chief, that we've come a hell of a long ways since I've been involved in this department, and it really shows, and I'm very proud, very proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Very nice words. Commissioner DeMayo.
Well, with everything that has been said this evening, I want to echo a couple of things that Chief Trommer brought up this evening about what took place last month in weather with the weather firefighter. On the day that unfortunately that Sharkey passed away, I was at the command post with Deputy Chief Giansanti. And I had left prior to the accident. And I didn't get a chance to speak to Sharkey. I did see him, but when they got their assignment, they had left to go to their location as we left. But when I heard the call that I had received from Chief Regina, which was approximately 3:30 on that Tuesday. I obviously the first thought is the way it was presented so quickly, you just automatically assume that it was one of our members, and thank God that was not the case. But here again, still losing a firefighter, in the manner in which he passed was very, very tough to take and understand. And I can't thank this department for doing what it did for the remainder of the week. For each and every member that stepped forward and assumed helping Weathersfield, as well as Berlin and Rocky Hill. But this is an outstanding department, and I am one proud commissioner to be a part of this organization. And I just want to say thank you to each and every member. and also including the other night at the Cornish, Street or Cornish Drive fire. I was present, and here again, the amount of people that we turn out for a working fire is just unbelievable. You know, when I started counting, I counted pretty close to 35 or 40 members, and it was like, it's like, where did they all come from? So, we are very fortunate, and I am so glad that we have the kind of dedication and commitment from each and every one of these individuals on a daily basis. So, thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm going to say a couple of things first because I know I'm not going to get through one of my comments. You guys will understand why. But first, I'd like to wish every member of this department and every resident or every traveler that comes through this town very happy Thanksgiving. The one thing that I'm requesting for your Thanksgiving is that you please don't use the smoke detector as a turkey timer. Okay, when the smoke detector goes off, your turkey's way too done. Please, let's be safe with our cooking. If anyone is using any outside fryers, please, way away from the house in a grass, dirt area somewhere. We don't want to have to go to any fires on Thanksgiving, but I do wish you all very happy Thanksgiving, and we have a lot to be thankful for in this department. And this is going to be the hard one. We did lose a good friend, a personal friend of mine that I'll always cherish. Sharky. He was my sleigh driver for when we did Santa for the Weathersfield kids. I talked to him 2 days before. We're planning on what day we were going to do in December to hop on the fire truck and go see the kids. And a week before that, I was fighting a fire in Berlin at the vet strip mall with him a couple weeks before. And the camaraderie and the can't really say it because we're on Zoom, but he's to know him was to love him. He was really the guy that you knew him, you loved him. He cared so much about people, and he'll be missed horribly. And I sat in the firehouse for a few days in Weathersfield covering for him, and all I kept doing was looking at his locker and hope he came into the firehouse and I'd see him again. But we all know that's not going to happen. And I just want to let the Weathersfield people know that we're there for you. We'll do anything we can for you. And we'll always think of Sharky and we'll never forget him. And with that said, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Amen.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Adjourned at 8:26.
Wow. Well, just an hour.